Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is going to be good. In today's video, we'll be reading through in real time, haven't read this yet, an article, an interview with 4 current and or previous Tesla short sellers. People who for some reason either thought it or still think today that it's a wise and intelligent decision to be betting against Elon Musk and Tesla. Now, the reason for this video isn't to pick on people with intellectual and or emotional challenges. Instead, it's an attempt to teach some valuable lessons. At least in my opinion, and 99% of the people watching, I would also assume, we can agree that betting against Tesla, not a wise thing. So the question is, can we learn anything? Can we garner any insights? Are there any lessons so we can apply these in our own lives and avoid making seriously moronic financial decisions like some of the folks in this interview? Before we dive in, I do want to point out, nothing personal here. I'm just here to help and to teach. And I personally believe the study of TSLAQ is one of the most fascinating insights into human psychology, emotions, and unprocessed trauma available to everybody. So through the lens of a Tesla stock investor, let's see if we can learn a few valuable lessons to apply in our own lives. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment theme merch in the merch store. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. So here we are over on New York Magazine. Now, before we get into this article, I just want to put something out there to make sure everybody understands where I'm coming from here. My parents told me a story years ago. They find it quite hilarious. I approached somebody who I saw smoking outside a Kmart and literally told them, "You're going to die of lung camper." Yes, I did say camper. I couldn't pronounce cancer at the time. But this is an actual event that actually happened, and it really speaks to the core of my personality. I don't mind saying the uncomfortable truths. I come from a good place. It may not be nice to hear, it may not be fun. Just imagine the impact that might have had on somebody who's smoking, and a fucking toddler comes up and goes, "Oh, you're going to die of camper." It's always been my nature. I am willing to say the things that aren't easy to hear in an effort to try to help people. Sometimes this comes across the wrong way, but zero fucks given. This is the same reason I'll happily point out to people who are morbidly obese that you fat motherfuckers are going to drop dead of a heart attack because you're a fat motherfucker. I'm not saying this to ridicule you for being overweight. I'm pointing out that you're likely to die. You're literally morbidly obese. I mean, morbidly obese, it's in the name, unless you do something about your weight. And the reason I say these things to people is because I assume most people have friends and family that won't be super thrilled if they drop dead of a preventable heart attack because they're a fat motherfucker. I'm not here to judge. I'm just trying to help. And the same is true when it comes to TSLAQ. I'm not trying to ridicule these people for being idiots in terms of their investing. I'm trying to help them not lose colossal amounts of money and maybe understand where they're going wrong. But at the very least, sometimes it's a little bit hard to get through to people at the individual level. I'm hoping that I can teach some lessons to everyone watching this video. How not to invest, how not to be overcome by emotions, unprocessed trauma, self-hatred, and so on, and make major financial errors. Back to the article. Headline: I began just losing money every day. 4 short sellers on the specific agonies of betting against Elon Musk. By the way, if you guys don't already have your Don't Bet Against Elon Musk merch, check the links in the pinned comment. Great conversation starters and an excellent warning message to anyone who's willing to take it on board. Even in the normal course of investing, shorting a stock is mentally ruinous. For those betting against Tesla, Elon Musk is an especially maddening adversary. The case that his company is overvalued has seemed at many points to be bulletproof, only for the shares to rise to unimaginable highs. I'm resisting the urge to make a joke about me rising to unimaginable highs also. Musk himself once tweeted that the stock price was too high, in my opinion. The value rose nearly 500% by the end of that year. Recently, New York, as in the publication, not the state or city, convened several prominent Tesla shorts, along with one bearish analyst, for a group commiseration session over Zoom. The stock was in the middle of a nearly 50% decline. The outcome these bears had predicted, but most had long ago abandoned the trade. First, Andrew Left of Citron Research. I've covered this guy in the past. I do actually respect Andrew Left. Many disagreements in terms of opinions, but generally speaking, I think he's a decent human being. Just made a few investing errors. He seems relatively rational versus the majority of people who've ever been short Tesla stock, who honestly, to me, seem completely irrational. I was short and I began just losing money every day. You're like, is this gonna end? I mean, is this ever gonna end? Every fucking day. By the way, guys, this one ain't safe for work. I'm not gonna bother censoring. By the way, you might not have noticed on the channel here, but I'll censor myself, but I'll never censor anyone else. Ever, which includes profanity. So yeah, if your kids are listening, well, they're gonna hear a lot of fucks and shits and other things today. Deal with it. Every fucking day. And you just keep setting new levels. No way it goes above 200. No way it gets above 400. Finally, I threw that towel in, and it kept going up. Remember when he threw the brick at the car to show how the window was unbreakable and the window broke? By the way, quick caveat here. I know this is like getting down in the weeds, but it is actually important to discuss this. When that gigantic steel ball was thrown at the Cybertruck window, it cracked the window, but it didn't actually penetrate the glass, which is an important distinction. Of course, it still cracked. It wasn't a good look. Tesla did make the most of this, and it generated a lot of press, and ultimately I think was very beneficial. But it did actually do the job. It prevented that projectile, a very heavy, high-mass object, from penetrating the glass. Still not a good look, but it is worth pointing that out. I'm like, the stock's definitely going down now, but even bad news was good news. You're like, I can't take this anymore. See, Andrew left, has a brain. You know what? I'm sick of getting absolutely f***ed by shorting Tesla stock. I'm going to stop. Intelligence in action. Learning from one's mistakes. Even if you don't agree, valuation doesn't make sense, but I've been wrong the entire time. I don't like being wrong anymore. I'm going to just stop being wrong. George Noble from Noble Impact Capital. Never heard of this guy. It was clear Musk was gunning for the shorts. Most companies, not so much. This guy, he made a sport out of it. There's financial capital, which is your profit and loss, and there's mental capital. I'm not going to say this because there are women on the call. Okay, fine, I'm going to say this, but I'm not going to sue you if you keep it in the article. There are easier ways to get laid. What? There are easier ways to get laid? Did he? This is just too hard. The brain damage quotient, the ratio of profit to brain cells destroyed was too low. Let me just think through this, okay? I'm really confused here. What is he trying to, okay, so it seems as if George Noble here is implying that Elon Musk going after Tesla short sellers is an attempt to get laid. This is what I'm talking about in terms of like emotional trauma and issues. How does someone draw this conclusion? This guy genuinely seems to believe that the reason that Elon Musk was going after Tesla shorts, nothing to do with the fact they're trying to ruin the company, prevent them from raising capital and bankrupt Tesla, is because he's trying to get laid. Now, I hate to break it to you here, George, but the number of women even interested in Tesla and or short selling and or investing is infinitesimally small versus men. So there isn't really a female audience to witness Elon Musk shitting on short sellers in the first place. I'm really confused here. I mean, I'm not confused because many of the reasons that Tesla short sellers short the stock and many of the reasons they're not a fan of Elon Musk just don't add up. So I'm not surprised on that front, but this really is a head scratcher. There are easier ways to get laid than clapping back at Tesla short sellers. Well, thanks for letting us know, George. Anyway, Andrew left, holding up a pair of shorts that Musk once sold to taunt Wall Street. I bought these on the website when they came out. I have like 5 pairs. It says Tesla here, and on the back it says S3XY. Why does Musk even give a shit about shorts? I mean, why would he take the time to make shorts? Now, Andrew, darling, let's talk about this, man to man. The reason that Tesla would make merchandise mocking, trolling Tesla short sellers, A, incredible publicity, and B, it's well-deserved ridicule. Elon is also coming from a good place. He has repeatedly warned against shorting Tesla stock. The guy isn't doing this because he thinks, oh, Tesla short sellers, oh, f*** these guys, f*** them. No, he realizes they're going to suffer catastrophic financial losses by betting against Tesla. These shorts broke the internet. They were featured on CNBC all throughout the mainstream finance media. This was great publicity for Tesla. And it was also a great warning, guys, seriously, don't short Tesla. There was a reason. There was method to the madness. The very fact, Andrew, that you've purchased 5 pairs of these shorts yourself and are now referring to them during this discussion kind of proves the point. Gets people talking. More publicity, more press, more coverage. And now onto Mark Spiegel, aka Toilet Boy of Standstill Capital. Because shorts have his number. That's why he cares. He's the irony here, poor Mark. I'll go easy on the guy, but yeah. He's insecure on this. Pot kettle black. George Noble, you have to be careful not to let yourself get triggered by Mr. Musk. The outright lies, the violation of laws. You just want to, oh shit, here we go again. You just want to punch the guy out, but you have to resist the temptation. Emotions cloud your judgment. Now, we really got to stop here because I could be done with this video right here and we've probably got the core lesson in a nutshell. You just want to punch the guy out. Does this sound like a comment from somebody who A, is emotionally stable, and B, more importantly, has their emotions in check when it comes to Elon Musk and Tesla? I would argue no. In fact, this is a pretty clear tell by somebody who is in fact completely overpowered and blinded by their own emotions. He rightly points out, emotions cloud your judgment. But the irony here, I mean, this is TSLAQ in a nutshell right here in 4 words. Emotions cloud your judgment. Take a moment here to consider the fact that this guy would admit on the record, knowing this will be published, that he wants to punch Elon Musk out, inflict violence upon the guy. Seems a little bit extreme. I mean, really. Irrespective of the false claim of outright lies and violation of laws, we've been down that rabbit hole. Putting all of that aside, the fact that this guy's at a point where he admits out loud that he personally has wanted to punch Elon out perfect example of emotions clouding your judgment. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I talk about the self-hating adult versions of TSLAQ. The self-hating isn't me mocking and ridiculing for no reason. It's me pointing out people who have emotional problems, okay? Wanting to punch somebody out who's running a company that you've shorted, and clearly you've lost catastrophic amounts of money, is not emotionally healthy behavior. This is the kind of thing that you need to visit a psychologist for to deal with your issues. And I genuinely mean that. There's clearly some unprocessed trauma and or some emotional challenges that this guy needs to deal with. This is not healthy. This is not an emotionally healthy human being. And hence me applying the term self-hating to basically everyone short Tesla stock. It's a catch-all statement to suggest some emotional issues. And again, I'm not trying to be a dick here. This is me pointing out it's so glaringly obvious that just about everyone short Tesla stock has emotional problems. They need help. They really genuinely do. But I've got to give credit, George summed it up 4 words perfectly. Emotions do cloud your judgment. Doug Cass of Seabreeze Partners Management. I haven't heard of Doug either, so can't add any additional context here. But this cult-like status, we've never seen anything like it. Elon Musk is our generation's P.T. Barnum. This is just, seriously. Emotions cloud your judgment. Next minute, we've got somebody calling Elon Musk this generation's P.T. Barnum. Seriously? Bro. This is just too good. And remember what he said. There's a sucker born every minute. Ultimately, the iconic figure self-destructs. And we're not suggesting that Elon Musk is a fraud, but now George Noble jumps in. Wait a second. You may not be, but... And now Toilet Boy jumps in. We are. I'm suggesting it. So 2 of the Tesla short sellers in this interview, Mark and George here, Elon's a fraud. Not that anyone on earth has actually seen any evidence of Elon Musk doing anything fraudulent ever. But again, going back to the emotions cloud your judgment comment, 2 of the 4 folks short Tesla stock literally think Elon is a fraud with no evidence. Instead, projection of their own self-hatred and their own negative traits, the things they don't like in themselves, in my opinion, pure speculation of course, they're projecting that onto Elon. They see what they don't like in themselves in Elon, even though it's not there. This is literal projection at its finest. Oh, and here we go. Gordon Johnson of GLJ Research, definitely a legitimate research firm, not a sham shop, not an oil shill or a puppet, guaranteed. And I just said that to make sure everyone understands that I genuinely believe that GLJ Research is legitimate. I think with Elon Musk, you have a CEO who's willing to do things that other CEOs just aren't willing to do. Now, I actually agree with Gordon here, like sleep on the factory floor and sacrifice basically everything else in his personal life, his relationships, his health, everything for the mission. Great point, Gordon. I agree. Mark Spiegel jumps in and get away with it. Gordon Johnson, like a fake buyout in the middle of a trading day, like tell people his cars drive themselves. He's never done that. Knowing that he can potentially lead and has been credibly alleged to have led to deaths. Like take deposits on a product that for years doesn't even exist, the Cybertruck. Other CEOs who have done this have gone to jail, but he doesn't. I gotta point something out about Gordon Johnson. I do not know why he says what he says, but I do not believe that he believes what he says. It's almost like he's an actor that's been paid to be negative on Tesla. He comes up with these ridiculous and ludicrous comments, but he's very careful. I don't actually think Gordon Johnson is emotionally reacting to Elon Musk and Tesla like the majority of other Tesla short sellers. And Gordon, I believe, has admitted on the record he's not actually short Tesla stock. He's not short all along. He's not allowed to be because he's researching it. But I do want to point out this distinction. You got Mark Spiegel here, who generally seems to hate himself, have major emotional problems, and a lot of unprocessed childhood trauma. And you got Gordon Johnson, who just seems like somebody's gone, bro, just say Tesla sucks and come up with some ridiculous reasons that might fly if somebody doesn't really think about what you said too much and just be done with it. Of course, I don't know. I'm just saying there's definitely a different approach and a different perception in the mind of Gordon Johnson versus Mark Spiegel when it comes to Tesla and Elon Musk. They're kind of getting to the same points, but Gordon with far less emotion. Spiegel continues, Musk gets away with more shit than anybody in history. It's a complete mystery and fluke. Now, Mark, my dear, let's talk about this, Mark. Now, I admit I'm personally guilty of hyperbole. In fact, I speak in hyperbole pretty much constantly on this channel. It's just so in 10 years' time when I clip these videos, there was no uncertainty about what I said was going to happen. More credibility in 10 years' time. But Mark right here has pointed out that Musk gets away with more shit than anybody in history, right? It's a complete mystery and a fluke. Let's ask a question here. After all, they do say that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Is there extraordinary amounts of evidence suggesting that Elon Musk gets away with more shit than anybody in history? Or has Mark given himself a clue that he's just unable to see, obscured by his own emotions around this issue, when he talks about it being a mystery and a fluke? Is it possible that the mystery is that there is no mystery because he's seeing something that isn't there? And that's why it's mysterious that he's getting away with it, because he's not actually getting away with anything because there's nothing that he's getting away with. Something to ponder. We joke, half joke, that Musk's got Epstein's videotapes. Now again, just think about where this guy's coming from emotionally and mentally to be making this kind of assertion. I know it's half joking but half not, but Everybody knows about Epstein. I mean, to try and create some link there as if he's really grasping at straws. Look at this thing with Twitter. He files the form 10 or 11 days late. That's black and white violation. He filed it as a 13G and not a 13D. That's a black and white violation. Yet the SEC sends him a polite letter. Dear Mr. Musk, can you please explain? If he gets anything, it'll be a wrist slap. And the head of the SEC, we know from his disclosure before he got a job that he owned one individual stock, Tesla. So it's either all these people own the stock, or they're getting blackmailed, or they're getting paid off. I mean, the conspiracy theory, again, emotions cloud your judgment. I hate myself. I'm projecting that self-hatred onto Elon and Tesla. Therefore, let me see things that don't exist. Oh, I know. Let's put the tinfoil hat on. People must be getting blackmailed or getting paid off. That's the only possible explanation for why Elon Musk is mysteriously getting away with this fraud and repeated lies and deception, right? It's the only possible explanation. I'm not wrong. I'm not saying things that aren't there. People are getting paid off and there's blackmail, obviously. I don't know what it is, but he has got immunity. Regulatory immunity. The poor guy, I mean, I just feel bad. I don't even know what's going on inside this guy's head, honestly. Let's move on from the class clown. The deception/lies. It causes real losses for grandmas and grandpa. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, this just does not sit well with me. Gordon is insinuating that deception and lies, which he's never been guilty of when it comes to Tesla, ever, not even once, causes real losses for real investors, which is, yeah, deception and lies can cause real losses for investors. But Gordon is definitely not guilty of that exact thing. All of the takedown videos and rebuttals that I've ever posted about Gordon, deceiving, lying, misleading, cherry picking, manipulating the data, painting a false narrative, saying outright lies, didn't even happen. I hallucinated the whole thing and so did you. Andrew left. You know, I'll take the opposite side to all you gentlemen. I'll say it. He's not P.T. Barnum. You know what? Round of applause, Andrew. I called it before I started reading this article. This guy's actually reasonably rational. He's not an emotional infant. He's not projecting self-hatred onto Elon. Despite the fact that this guy in the past has been short Tesla and thought the valuation was absolutely absurd, he at least admits Elon's not a big con man. He's not a fraudster. And he's willing to disagree with these emotional infants. It's an amazing car. He did it. Call him on the spectrum. It's true. Whatever he is, he's wonderful. See, I respect and appreciate this because Andrew's calling a spade a spade. This is how you can make the distinction between somebody whose rational faculties are at least still online and somebody who's completely lost the fucking plot. Doug Cass chimes in. We all have to agree he's a genius. Mark Spiegel. He's not a genius. Now, let's just take a moment to talk. What is a genius? Genius, per Oxford Dictionary, quote, exceptional intellectual or creative power or other natural ability. Now, let's think about this. Has Elon demonstrated exceptional intellectual and or creative power? Self-taught rocket engineer? Reusable rockets? No one else has done that. Disrupt the automotive industry. Write his first fucking video game when he was 12 years old. Stunning photographic memory. The list of things that this guy has done that demonstrate exceptional intellectual capabilities and exceptional creative power. Bro, there's no argument whatsoever. Bang, Elon Musk, per the dictionary definition, number 1, genius. This is not up for debate. It's just not. You might not like the guy, but you cannot argue. He is a genius. Although we can come at this from a slightly different angle. We can also look at this from an IQ point of view. Generally speaking, it is accepted widely. Somebody who is 3 or more standard deviations above average, aka 145 plus IQ, is defined as a genius. My best guess, Elon's IQ is probably somewhere in the 160 to 175 range. Of course, I've never seen Elon personally do an IQ test in real time, so I don't know. But whether we're going from the dictionary definition or just in terms of IQ testing, my conjecture is that Elon Musk is a genius no matter which way you come at it. And to deny this, in my opinion, clear evidence of delusion. Again, you don't have to like the guy, but to blatantly say he's not a genius, it just doesn't check out Mark. Then again, very few things that Mark ever has said about Elon Musk do check out. And by the way, I just want to point something out on IQ too. If you ever hear anybody talking about their IQ out loud, you're talking to somebody whose IQ may be relatively high, but however far above average their IQ is, let's just say they've got an IQ of 150, their EQ, their emotional intelligence, was about 50. I find it amazing. There's a number of Poindexters who are, in terms of intellect, super intelligent, super high IQ. They don't have any idea how people interpret them talking about their high IQ out loud, which shows a very large lack of emotional intelligence. As a pro tip, don't be that guy or girl. Spiegel, he's a genius at stock promotion. That's what he's a genius at. Well, hey, got to give credit here. At least Mark has acknowledged that Elon is a genius in one narrow domain, even if I disagree with that. And now we've got Gordon Johnson. This is one of the things that gets under my skin. People say this guy's a genius. He did this and he's creating batteries. It's all untrue. Yeah, everything that Elon's ever done, it's all untrue. Those rockets, untrue. The vehicles, untrue. Companies, untrue. It's all untrue. Good point, Gordon. Andrew, again, coming in with some actual reasonable comments. I would say earlier in the days of Tesla, it was all Musk. And now I think Musk could walk away and it wouldn't be game over for the stock. And I actually agree with this. Like, super agree. Although, it wasn't just all Musk in the early days, but yeah, if you didn't have Elon, Tesla would be bankrupt. No fucking question. However, as Andrew points out, today it's a different story. If Elon did walk, Tesla would be fine. They wouldn't move as fast and do as much, but they would be fine. I really do appreciate Andrew Left in this conversation. He's a beacon of reason in a sea of stupidity. Spiegel. Oh, it would. He's very confident. I'll give him that. Andrew clapping back. I know you say that, but I've had enough game overs for this stock. It's funny. We talked about competition for years and years. Finally, the competition's there, and they're still selling the numbers neither of us would have ever thought they would. You got to give them some credit again. Andrew is being reasonable and rational. He's not overcome with emotion. You know what? I don't think Andrew is a self-hating virgin. By the way, I do just want to bring this up really quickly. If you guys want to Google the full article, go for it. Mark Spiegel back in 2014 said why projections for Tesla to sell 500,000 cars in 2020 are absurd, blah, 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 blah. In 2014, nearly a decade ago, Mark Spiegel essentially said there's zero fucking chance Tesla will come close to selling 500,000 vehicles per year in 2020. Spoiler alert, they hit it out of the park despite a pandemic. And of course, he was reasoning by analogy. But Andrew's pointed out, you've got to give some credit, right? They're doing numbers that neither of us thought were even possible. Surely Mark can acknowledge this and go, you know what, I was wrong. I mean, I'm literally wrong. I mean, hello, here's the article of me being wrong in 2014, still on the internet. Good point, Andrew. You're right. They've exceeded expectations. So how will Mark respond? Spiegel says, this thing had the most massive margin for error of any short I've ever put on. And then it went up 25 times. So no response or acknowledgement that Tesla has actually done numbers that neither of them thought were possible. Smells like some denial. And now, George Noble. In 2019, the last time I was short Tesla in any material size, I was playing for bankruptcy. The point is not that I was wrong. I mean, you were, George. You guys want to go fact check me? Watch some of the earlier videos that I posted in 2019, pointing out that Tesla was not going bankrupt, that they had no competition. Seriously, just go look at the channel. Sort by oldest videos. I started posting content on YouTube in 2019. There was no chance Tesla was headed for bankruptcy in 2019. Anyway, it happens all the time. It's a rite of passage in this business. If you're not wrong, you're not taking enough risk. Here's the incredible thing. I've never been this wrong. Now, this is actually a great admission. I appreciate it. The honesty, respect. It's also worth thinking about this because this is true. I think that the majority of people who have misunderstood Tesla and shorted the stock have unlikely ever made such a colossal error of judgment when it comes to an investment. Ever. And again, I want to go back to the crux of this video. I personally believe the reason the majority of people misunderstand Tesla is because they're not thinking rationally or logically, but instead they're overcome with emotions, self-hatred, projecting what they feel about themselves or how inferior they feel versus Elon Musk onto the guy and or the company, and just missing the underlying story. It's a recurring theme. And again, emotions cloud our judgment. That's what it all boils down to, in my opinion. How many people on this call have ever shorted a stock to see it go up 20 times after you covered it? It's the power of the narrative. We live in a post-truth society. Now he's starting to rationalize again, right? Yeah, that's right. Post-truth society. The truth doesn't matter. It's just whatever the narrative is, that's why that went up. I was right. It's just, the narrative is why the stock went up, not the performance of the company. That's what we're dealing with here. It's all about the Fed liquidity and bullshit narrative. And stupid dumb fuck millennial investors who don't know how to read income statements and balance sheets. Now, again, coming, I believe, from the guy who said emotions cloud our judgment. Do these comments sound like somebody who is thinking rationally and reasonably or overcome with emotions? Bullshit narrative and stupid dumb fuck millennial investors. I count myself among the dumb fuck millennial investors. Any dumb fuck millennial investors watching this video, please let me know in the comments below if you too are a dumb fuck millennial investor. Toilet Boy responding. The only catalyst that puts this thing down, 90% overnight is Musk either dead or in handcuffs, right? Other than that, it's just a deflating bubble. That's how I think this is going to end. And the sole beacon of reason, Andrew Left. Now the important part comes. With the Fed contracting its balance sheet, how will Musk react as his stock naturally goes lower? Class clown. I think what's different with Elon Musk versus everyone else is his willingness to do things. And I don't know how to say this more intelligently, but to do things that other people would be afraid they'd go to jail for. I think it's going to get a lot worse. I got to hand it to Gordon. He's a master of planting seeds of doubt. This guy would have done pretty well in debate classes, although, that being said, if we had a live debate, he'd live in a fucking body bag. Metaphorical body bag, of course. To light a bunch of fires, insinuate and suggest without actually directly saying anything. Andrew Left. Elon will become unhinged. I guess that means he's going to become more like the average Tesla short seller then. That'll be the story of this year. You'll see it right now. As this price gets lower, he becomes more unhinged as a person. This is going to be the show of the shows. Remember when I was saying, how is this fucking going higher every day? Now it's that reverse feeling. Musk waking up being like, how is it going lower every day? He'll try to pull something out of his hat. He'll do something irreverent. I'll hate to see it too. I hope he doesn't do anything really stupid. I don't hate him personally to wish that on him. Now, in fairness, Andrew, buddy, the number of fucks that Elon gives about Tesla stock price is approximately 0. He does care in terms of employees and employee morale. That's about as far as it goes. Any evidence we can cite for this bold claim from this dickhead on YouTube? Yeah, how many times has Elon said he believed Tesla stock was overvalued or too high? Many. Is that somebody who cares about the stock price being up or down? No. Let's move on. George Noble. I do. There we go. Look at that. See? Again, emotions, right? Does this sound like somebody's thinking rationally? Wanting to see the guy fail? Wanting to see him do something stupid? He's a psychopath. I mean, seriously, guys, these are some deeply troubled individuals, and I genuinely mean that, and I come in from a nice place. I think at least 3 of the people in this discussion need therapy, specifically for some unprocessed traumas, some emotional issues. I don't know how else to say it. To actually genuinely believe that Elon Musk is a psychopath. I've literally studied psychopathy. I mean, I'm a nerd, right? I've studied all kinds of things, all kinds of conditions. To level the claim that Elon Musk is a psychopath just doesn't align with reality, not even close. Andrew left. His personality reflects the stock price. With fund managers, the toughest part about this job is managing your emotions. Interesting. We've heard emotions come up once again, and I agree. On a good day, not feeling you're King Kong, and on a bad day, not feeling you're overly down. Musk probably doesn't have that. He lets himself get a little too excited. Think about it this way. Some guys buy boats. Some guys buy planes. He wanted to buy Twitter. I just shorted. Now, generally speaking, I think that people who buy boats and planes aren't doing so to uphold the principles of free speech because they have concerns about functioning democracy. But anyway, let's move on. I've covered this in the past and it's getting very long, this video. Doug Cass, what price will you sell at? Andrew, like 755. Doug, I'm short at 755 as well right now. Let's see how well this conversation has aged. Tesla closed at 859. Let's just round up $860 per share. This interview likely took place, let's call it somewhere around the 20th of July. Tesla stock up about 16% since then. Well played, boys. And by well played, I mean, did you seriously just bet against Elon, you fucking idiots? Again? You've not learned your lesson? Seriously? Okay. You both shorted just now? What convinced you? Doug Cass. You know why. I'm having a good year. I want to get it fucked up. Well, at least he can laugh at himself. Saves me doing the laughing, right? Some folks just cannot learn their lesson. I mean, seriously, how many times do you have to get your face ripped off shorting Tesla stock before you realize, you know what? I've been wrong at every fucking juncture. Every time I bet against this stock, I get financially reamed. But I'm going to do it again. At some point, you just got to go, look, the entire world's wrong. I'm right. But because the entire world's wrong and I'm right, I'm not going to make any money shorting this company because the entire world's wrong. So even if I am right, which I'm not, but even if I am right, given the fact that I keep getting burned every time I touch the hot plate, maybe I should stop touching the hot plate. Next minute, 3rd degree financial burns again. I mean, seriously, guys, like, fuck, dude, just stop, okay? Even if you think you're right, I don't know, go bet against Trevor Milton or something instead. Now, folks, again, back to the important and valuable lesson in today's video. Emotions cloud judgment. Very simple, but very true. We've seen some great examples of this. Now, I'm not here to make light of mental health disorders. These are very serious issues. In fact, privately, the sole recipient of all of my philanthropic funds, every charitable donation over the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years approximately, and the primary beneficiary of my will is a company attempting to help people with mental health disorders, depression, addiction, PTSD. I care about this stuff. I care about helping people in this regard. But what we're seeing now, in my opinion, is a bunch of people who have unprocessed traumas, as well as some mental health disorders that have been untreated, undiagnosed, and they're unaware. These people are generally speaking pessimistic, dark, negative, nasty, and they project what they feel about themselves and their own inadequacies, the parts of their personality that they don't like, onto other people. And for whatever reason, Elon Musk, I guess, he's the lowest hanging fruit, the biggest target. Bang, this guy. Everything I don't like about myself, I'm going to project outward and see it in him. Hence the dishonesty, the fraud, this, that, and the other. So how can we avoid falling into the same trap and making colossal errors of judgment, especially when it comes to our personal finances? A good starting point. If you ever feel yourself wishing to inflict physical violence upon somebody relating to a company you're investing in, like wanting to punch Elon Musk out, that's a red flag. It suggests quite strongly that your emotions are overpowering your reasoning faculties. You do not want to be making any decisions, let alone investment decisions, from a place of emotion. Additionally, if your track record consists of you financially punching yourself in the face repeatedly, making the same incorrect decision over and over and over, getting burned over and over and over, yet you still still want to cling on to your idea and theory which has long since been disproven, and still want to continue to make the same financially ruinous decision, you need help. And I mean like help. Like somebody should ban you from touching your own money until you get the help you need. Otherwise, you literally bankrupt yourself. In addition, if you're willing to flat out deny reality, like Spiegel there, denying that Elon Musk is a genius, even if you don't like the guy, you cannot deny he's a genius. If you're unwilling to accept reality, you aren't thinking clearly, buddy. Even Andrew Left here, acknowledging Elon is a genius, the car's great, blah, blah, blah. I think Andrew Left is the only person we heard in this interview, besides Gordon, who may have his own reasons for saying what he says, who isn't actually genuinely suffering from forms of delusion. And again, I'm not making light of this. I genuinely believe, especially Mark Spiegel, the guy's literally deluded. He sees things that are not there. He needs help. I genuinely mean that. If somebody knows Mark Spiegel, please help the guy. Ban him from shorting Tesla. Get him into some therapy, maybe some psychedelic assisted psychotherapy, whatever it takes. Maybe visit a shaman in the jungles of Peru. Otherwise, this poor guy, 80 years old, bankrupt, not a cent to his name, still going to be calling Elon Musk a fraud when Tesla and the companies founded by Elon have transformed not only Earth, but Mars as well. I think in short, just as 3-year-old Stephen said to the clown smoking a cigarette that they're going to die of lung cancer, 37-year-old Stephen wants to say to everybody shorting Tesla stock that you're going to ruin yourself financially. The difference is that I think most people who smoke acknowledge and already know the health consequences, but do so in spite of them. And unfortunately, almost everyone shorting Tesla stock isn't actually seeing things for what they are. They don't see the underlying risk. They don't realize that they're killing themselves financially. It's just unwise as a human being to be making decisions emotionally. Emotions have their place, but when it comes to investing, especially on the short side, where your losses can potentially be infinite, it's very important to make sure your emotions are nowhere the fuck to be seen. And one final comment as well to the parents and to-be parents out there, given the fact that 95% of my audience is men. Guys, if you have kids and you're a poor role model and or a completely absent father, I think the odds of your offspring shorting Tesla stock are a lot higher than the average population. And again, I'm not making light or fun here, I'm being deadly fucking serious. I could almost guarantee, of course I don't know, but I have a very strong belief that if one were to dig into the background of the likes of Mark Spiegel, you might find that they didn't really have a suitable father figure in their lives. No father figure tends to produce people who either end up in prison or shorting Tesla stock. There are exceptions, and I do also want to add that having a traumatic childhood, an absent father figure, doesn't mean you're destined to make mistakes or be emotionally unstable. It just means you're going to have some issues to process. Everyone has some traumas in their lives, okay? All of us. The difference is, some recognize and spend the time and energy to actually process these things, to integrate them, to grow and learn as a person. And others end up as a bitter old man, shorting Tesla stock, calling Elon Musk a fraud, wishing to punch the guy in the face, and desperately yearning to see him fail. Anyway, hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this video. There really is a valuable lesson here. And again, I'm coming from a good place, I really am, just trying to help these people. I see these same patterns recurring over and over and over in different aspects of life, specifically through the lens of Tesla here. I think it's probably fair to say that at least 90% of the people shorting Tesla stock today have either cripplingly low self-esteem and or significant emotional trauma that they've yet to process, and or are just massive outliers in terms of personality traits skewing heavily towards the negative, pessimistic, hateful, dishonest, deceptive, nasty, vindictive, vicious, and so on. Just trying to help. Just calling it as I see it, and of course, I could be completely wrong. I'm just hypothesizing here. If anyone has any better theories or explanations, please let me know in the comments below. But this is an interesting study of human psychology. There are patterns that we can recognize. We can apply these, not just to investing, but other parts of life as well. And on that topic, hope everyone watching has learned at least one thing from this video. Hopefully you can apply a few of these lessons in your own life and make better decisions in the future. And lastly, don't forget you can support the channel and access a ton of exclusive content, loads of off-topic rants on all sorts of stuff, including a lot on human psychology, plus instant up-to-date access to my Tesla stock price targets out over the next decade. Click the card in the corner or the link at the pinned comment to join. I'll see you over on Patreon. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Even the Tesla short sellers, like I said, I'm coming from a good place. I'm just trying to help. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.